Hey guys, Mr. Abyss here with Life as a Shonen. If you are enjoying the content in our channel, don't forget to like our videos and go ahead and subscribe. Hey guys, Mr. Abyss here to bring you DC's latest release for the Dark Knight's Metal story arc. This will be issue number 3, and it is a doozy. Our first scene opens up in Smallville, where you have Damian Wayne and Jonathan Kent jamming together in their new band. Kind of like a picnic for the Justice League. You've got Bruce, Clark, Lois, Wonder Woman, and the two boys there, and they're giving a show for the whole family. Now, in this conversation, Bruce referenced, kind of oddly, that in all sincerity, he wants to thank the rest of the other two members of the Trinity. That the war that they just fought brought about his worst fears, and without them, he wouldn't have been able to get through it, and he wanted to thank them. Bruce is pretty awkward with thanking people. It's not this normal thing he does. So Wonder Woman makes fun of him for it. As Wonder Woman's making fun of Batman for being awkward, you actually see a bloody bat symbol start to leak through his shirt. And the last thing he says is Carpe Diem. And through his chest comes the hand of Barbados itself. Rips through Bruce's chest, grabs Clark, and you have Damian and Wonder Woman in the background screaming for everyone to get down, get out of the way. As Clark is being held by Barbados, he says to the monster, "We beat you. We got rid of you. We were done with this. It should be over." And Barbados looks to him and says, "Again, that only happened because I let you do it." So you could see this moment is all that happened to Clark Kent. The only truth in the end is all roads lead back to my darkness. And in the background you actually have his soldiers appearing. Murder Machine, the Doomsday Batman, Red Death is there, the Batman who last leading the charge. Kind of like the Horsemen of Death, they're walking through fire on these evil, decaying horses. As Clark is in the hands of Barbados, I mean, it doesn't take Barbados much at all. He touches Clark, boom, it's done. Clark is defeated. But on the next page, it's revealed that this whole thing is kind of a dream world, a simulation of sorts, and he is awoken from this dream world by Diana. She has the lasso of truth tied to his wrist and her wrist, so that through these images they can actually be able to see and realize this is not reality. There's actually something else going on. And Clark tells Diana that he's been fighting Barbados over and over and over for months and years. He's lived lifetimes in a recurring dream that was real as can be to him. And he tried everything he could do to beat Barbados. He teamed up with villains, teamed up with gods, and lost every single time. Diana tells him that it was the same for her as well. And that reality is actually much worse than the nightmares that they were going through. And you're shown a scene of a gigantic tower where the bodies of people are strapped to it, and I'm guessing that they're chained into these nightmares as well. They're not going to be able to, without the lasso of truth, they're not going to be able to escape from their bonds. You see a lot of black energy pouring off of it, so I believe they're using the tower to drain the negativity and the darkness from these people's hearts. That's why they're showing them the nightmares, and it's doing a pretty dang good job. You know, Diana knows what's up. She knows that they need to get out of here. They look down upon Metropolis, and you see these hulking things that look like Doomsdays. So I'm guessing the Doomsday virus is slowly spreading throughout the city, infecting everybody. Clark asks Diana, "Where is Lois? Where is John?" She tells him that John is okay. You don't need to worry about him, but Lois has been infected, and there's nothing Superman can do about it. This enrages Superman. He screams to Diana, "Where is Barbados?" She tells him in Gotham City, "But you don't understand," and he just takes off. He's not having any of it. There's no need to listen right now. All he needs to do is go take down Barbados. He makes it to Gotham City in a split second. At the top of the mountain, he sees Barbados. And the mountain's just covered in these same captive bodies, just like the tower. There's lightning all around them. I'm guessing that they're stuck in the nightmare realm still as well. Barbados knows what had been going on in these dream worlds. He has connection to them, I guess. He's taunting Clark once again, telling him, "See, Clark Kent? Just as in Smallville, in the end, all roads leads to the dark." And he gets ready to let off a blast of his heat vision when a voice calls out saying, "Superman, thank God you're here." And he notices that it's Batman. Since it's actually Bruce Wayne, he is unable to tell that it is indeed the Devastator. And the Devastator clears through the clouds and punches Clark right in the jaw. This sends Clark flying. He ends up landing in the middle of Gotham City and instantly is met up with the Batman Who Laughs. He asks the Batman Who Laughs where he's at, and he notifies him that this is Crime Alley. You are in the middle of Gotham City. Since it's Superman, still, he's able to tell that this Bruce is also Bruce, and that it's his city. How could you let this happen to Gotham? No matter what has ever changed, Bruce, protecting Gotham City has always been his #1 goal. And these versions just don't care anymore. Batman Who Laughs remarks to him that it was my city. I was taking care of it, but I'm done doing that. I've given that job over to my friends from Arkham. This district is owned by Mr. Freeze, which is actually why it's covered in snow and ice, and you can't even really tell that it's Crime Alley. And you get, like in the tie-in issues of Red Death, Murder Machine, and Dawnbreaker, this appeal to the heart of Bruce Wayne, the compassion of Bruce Wayne. Clark says to him that, all right, if you're Bruce, that means there's good in you somewhere. It never goes all the way away. He's naive sometimes. He's got a very good heart, and he believes that no matter what, good can pull through, blah, blah, blah. Not true for these Batman. These are the darkest people I've ever met. The Batman Who Laughs says to him that you said the same thing to me in my world right before I killed you. And then he calls upon the Devastator, who tackles Superman and removes him from the equation for the moment. He begins to go on a slight monologue where he explains exactly how the realms in his dark multiverse are created. Once again, anytime a fear or a hope for something in their world happens, it births one of their dark nightmare realms. These different versions are all of Bruce's greatest fears. For Devastator, he started to experiment with the Doomsday virus, lost control, and ended up destroying the planet. He continues on to tell Clark that each of us have dealt with you before. You're nothing to us. We are not Batman. We cross the lines that he is scared to cross. Or perhaps these are the lines he actually desires to cross, but is unable to because he is weak. Just something to think about. He's continuing to fight the Devastator, but it's a losing battle. I don't know how true it is, but Devastator remarks that you should be able to tell constantly, every punch you throw at me, every time you hit me, you're getting weaker and weaker and weaker. You can't hurt me, but every single one of us can definitely hurt you. And he just keeps pummeling Superman. And, I mean, Superman was probably doomed there, if not for the symbol of Dr. Fate appearing like in all the other tie-ins. And you have Barry come out and whisk Batman away and take him inside of Dr. Fate's symbol. We next appear in the Oblivion Bar. This is my first foray into comics, really, so I'm not too familiar with what this realm is, but it is explained that it is one of the only safe places left in the entire universe. An outpost hidden in a pocket dimension of magic called the Oblivion Bar. We have two characters that we're introduced to called Nightmaster and his uncle Bobo, who is a monkey. I don't actually know where they're from or what they are. If y'all know what they are, feel free to let me know. I would like to learn as much about this stuff as I can. When this all first went down, Diana and Clark were whisked away. They were defeated instantly. They haven't got to see the devastation that's been wrought. They haven't had to be fighting constantly. Clark looks around and notices that Barry, Aquaman, Nightwing, everybody's very battle-worn. And they look destroyed. You have an appearance of Nightwing. When he shows up, he tells Clark they've been through hell, fighting nonstop, day after day after day after day. They actually combined a team together and went to try and take back just one city. Just Gotham City. Not Detroit, not Central City, not Coast City. Just Gotham. And it was useless. They're too powerful. This team of Batman is just, it's so OP that there's nothing even the Justice League can do right now. Not without the medals, at least. You get a scene showing Murder Machine's Alfred's just going through the city and collecting people. Because, they can replicate, from what I can tell, infinitely. So they're taking the people, attaching them to the tower, putting them in the nightmare world to further draw upon their nightmares. Then you get Central City, where Red Death created an entire Speed Force storm. I guess every single person in the city right now is dead. It shows their body is nearly a zombie, just slowly decaying over time. It says the Speed Force storm kills anyone it touches within seconds, so I don't see how anyone would really be living through it. They couldn't protect those cities, and Nightwing believes that other cities are going to follow suit. Unless they're able to do something, which they aren't. They can't hurt these Batmen. And Nightwing, I mean, he looks torn up. He's got a beard growing, battle scars all over his armor, and it's actually revealed that he lost the Teen Titans. I'm sure there's a tie into that. I haven't gotten further into those tie-ins. That'll be something I take care of next week. Kendra pipes back up. Tells Superman that he needs to start accepting this a little bit faster, because with their appearance through Dr. Fate to the Batman Who Laughs, it's only a matter of time before they make their way to them. They need to get this going, figure out what they're going to do, get out of here before they show up. Kendra's telling them that there's no way to fight these guys. Maybe if you would have helped me, and gave me Batman when I met you with Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman, and you had not protected him, I could have done something. But at this time, there's nothing we can do. Green Arrow actually slaps an arrowhead down on the table. It's made of nth metal. This nth metal arrowhead's going to lead to something greater later on. It's really one of the only things they have that can actually hurt these Batmen, but that's all of it. Just that arrowhead is really all they have, and they don't know how to find the rest of it. But Dr. Fate reveals to them that he can sense the last repositories of the nth metal out there. There's some in Steel's hammer, there's some in his helmet, and in the egg that Plastic Man is held in. And the egg is vibrating. They can feel the vibrations in the egg, and it seems to be leading them to coordinates. One located in deep space, one located beneath Atlantis, and one in the direct center of the multiverse itself, the Rock of Eternity. In other previous videos, I've expressed that I do not like Aquaman, and this scene right here just makes me like him even less. He's irritating to me. He has no grasp on the situation. Diana turns to him and says, "Hey Arthur, Atlantis is one of the locations. If we're going to fight these guys, we need the nth metal that is located down there." And he's just not about it. That location is not accessible. Are you kidding me, Aquaman? In the middle of all of this, Atlantis is on the brink of being destroyed. You need to go down there and get it. I don't like him. He's not a... I won't go on about it. One day I'll release a video explaining more about why I dislike him so much. And thankfully Green Lantern steps in, points for Hal Jordan, love the dude. Steps in and tells him, "This is world-ending stuff, dude. You need to get your head out of the water and realize what's going on." And of course, Aquaman turns to him, You don't know the secrets of Atlantis." Who cares about that right now? I should probably know who this character is. It's a black guy. He's got a red mask on. I'm not actually sure who he is. But he comments to them that there's actually one more location that doesn't make any sense. You know how it shows the negative multiverse in the top where it's like negative Earth 553? Well, it's giving him a coordinate like that, and it's confusing him. The coordinates lead to nowhere. They lead to negative darkness. Clark realizes that's got to be Batman. He disappeared. We figure he's gone to that realm. It's got to be him. Clark goes on to say that through his constant battles with Barbados, in the last few, he actually began to feel the presence of Batman, calling out to him through the darkness. And he tells them that the Trinity actually has a code that they all use in case one of them's in trouble. It's an alphabetical code using their initials. That's why Bruce saying Carpe Diem was so important. Clark, Diana, CD. If it was Diana, he would say Clark. She would say Clark Bruce. Nightwing actually has felt him too. He's trying to say something to them through the darkness, but they can't get the full message. But Nightwing says that they need to stay here and fight. There's no reason to go search for Bruce. Bruce wouldn't want them to do this. Damian Wayne knocks him in the face, and Damian wants to go get his father. But they're interrupted by the arrival of one of the evil Robins. He reaches out to attack Nightwing, and right before he can do it, Deathstroke actually gets him. Hits him with a dagger through the mouth, pins him to the wall. You know things are getting bad when the heroes are hiring Deathstroke to fight with them. But he's got Promethean metal in his armor. He actually has a way to fight these guys. So you've got to use Deathstroke. With the arrival of these Batman, they've got to escape as fast as they can. If they get in and start taking them on, there's nothing they can do. So Dr. Fate gets in the center of it, and using Steel's hammer, gathers the coordinates that they discovered and starts to teleport each and every team to these different spots so that they can go and acquire the metals necessary to fight Barbados off. But left behind is Uncle Bobo and the Nightmaster. And I don't know who the Nightmaster is, but he's pretty cool. He gives this cool speech when everyone's leaving. They're trying to implore them to stay, but someone's got to hold him off. And it's been a long time since he's been in a battle, and he's ready to go. Probably doesn't end too well for them. Because right after that, the Batman Who Laughs busts through the window. These mindless flesh-eating Robins are pretty unsettling. He actually lets them in there to go feast on the bodies of all the Justice League. Now we cut to a couple different locations. You have the Fortress of Solitude, the Marianas Trench, Space Sector Z68Z, and the Sands of Bialia. In Bialia, the team is Wonder Woman and Dr. Fate. In the Polaris system, we have Green Lantern and the guy with the red mask on. Don't know his name. I'll have to find that out. The other team you have is Aquaman and Deathstroke in the Marianas Trench. And we have Steel, Superman, and Flash in the Fortress of Solitude. After Batman disappeared, Superman went ahead and looked in there. Maybe he had all along. He was lying to Bruce. I don't know. But he brings them to the Anti-Monitor's antenna. And there's just dark energy pouring out of this thing. Pretty stupid, I guess, to have it right now. But Clark realizes the Nightmare Realm is actually not too far off from the Phantom Zone itself. And if you can use the apparatus that summons the Phantom Zone, with the dark energy, they should be able to go through the portal and reach Bruce Wayne. So they have Flash start to access the Speed Force to kind of power the thing, because he's a near infinite source of energy as long as he's running. So he starts running around it, powering it, as they use Steel as the conduit for the dark energy to kind of direct the portal. It works out, and Superman is sent through the portal into the dark multiverse. We cut back to the bar, and it's on fire. You have the entire crew of all the evil Batman there. What I really like here also is the Dawnbreaker, he's still a little kid. That Bruce never got to be a Batman, so you're dealing with a child, and he's kind of freaking out a little bit. He can't feel fear, but he knows, like, hey, dude, we're sitting in an area that's on fire. This can't be okay. No way we're going to be safe. And Batman Who Laughs tells him to just calm down. How about you go turn the jukebox on? Let's enjoy a song. The next panel shows Superman tear through either reality or the thin film that separates our universe from theirs. And when he does and sees the area that he's summoned to, another dark tower, he realizes that this entire thing was a trap. It's just like the other nightmares that Barbados was forcing Clark to go through. He told him, he said it to him, every time you do this, it's always going to end in darkness. That's all there is. And Superman is being accosted by all these, I guess, dark versions of himself. They're kind of like these real skinny, nearly skeletal Supermen that are grabbing him and holding him down and telling him that they've been waiting for him. This was the plan all along, and Clark fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. At the last panel of this page, you get a small, weak voice asking Clark, "Why did you come here? I was trying to warn you." And it's Bruce himself. And Bruce is not doing good at all. He looks like an old man. He's skinny, nearly skin and bones. And they had just placed him there. It might not even be our Bruce, really. I'm not sure yet. But he tells him that the code that they were giving him wasn't Carpe Diem. No, it was the music itself. And the notes of the song started as D, then C. Apparently when you reverse the code, it is to tell them, stay away. Don't come to me. Stay as far away from this area as you possibly can. But Clark interpreted it incorrectly. He is actually the conduit for all of this. He is the power source, not Bruce Wayne. And now they have Clark exactly where they need him. It's what they always wanted. Your cells. You're the battery. Don't you understand that he was right? That all roads from Barbados lead to the darkness. And because of you, now the world will sink into it. And that's all for this week's issue. Now for some afterthoughts. Whoa, a lot of stuff went down on that issue. Metals, it's so good so far. Really enjoying it. I'm sad that there wasn't one of the tie-ins this week showing the Batman Who Drowns, but I love them showing that Barbados is just taking advantage of Clark's naive nature. He knew that if he let these messages slip through, that no matter what, Clark would go after Bruce. They're great friends. I would consider them probably best friends. They understand each other to a sense, and Clark was always going to go after Bruce, especially if Bruce might be the key to stop all of this. But that's not the case. They needed to get their battery there, so they gave him a message, and he followed it and went right into their hands. Now they have everything they need to activate the towers, because each city that they're attacking has a tower in it, where all the people are held onto it in this nightmare realm, generating dark energy to eventually envelop the entire world. And they were unable to do that until he showed up. So, it was the worst possible scenario. It kind of reminds me of Secret Empire a little in the fact that it's hopeless. Like, there's nothing. You got the little sliver of hope in the nth metal, but it's not like the Barbados and the evil Batman don't know that's where they need to go. I don't know how strong Barbados truly is, but right now, he was wrecking people with one finger. He touched Clark and just, and it was just over. He touched Clark and he was useless. Their only hope right now is that the teams that they separated up into can actually locate pieces of this metal that are able to harm dark multiverse entities. Other than that, there's nothing they can do and the world is doomed. I'd like to know what events this could lead to and where you think the story itself is actually going. Go ahead and leave your responses down in the comments. And that's really it for this week. Next week we will be coming out with Batman the Drowned. So we will be releasing that. So if you are liking our videos and you like the content we're doing, it's going to keep on coming. Go ahead and like it and subscribe to our channel. Everybody have a good day.